who, oh my gosh, did for quite a while. He taught math here, calculus mainly. And he also had a distinction for a number of years of being, we call them dean students now. These days we call them disciplinarians. And when you, I don't know if you know this or not, but this still is true for Mount St. Joe's. When you got detention, they didn't call it detention, they called it jug. Justice under God. It was called, you went to jug. Now, Brother Anthony was the disciplinarian when we had about 900 boys, and only boys. Now, I don't know, ladies, if you know this or not, but when you have a bunch of boys together, they can get a little raucous, shall we say. So you need a kind of a tough hand. He was the type of guy that if he went by and saw you on a dress code, by the way, dress code, you all complain about it, right? When I came to the council, the dress code was dress pants, dress shoes, you have to have a belt, shirt, tie, and sport coat. And you could only take off your sport coat only if a teacher in a classroom, and only in the classroom, let you. Plus, we had no air conditioning. So sometimes you were in that room in May, and if a teacher just, you gave them trouble, everybody wore their sport coats and just sweated. So when the next time you complain about anything in discipline about your dress code, most students who went to good counsel in the 70s would love your dress code. I would love your dress code, frankly. So it's a pretty easy. But Brother was a tough brother. First of all, in his classes, he taught calculus. Calculus is not easy. Okay. But his method of teaching was a little bit different. It was brothers. Remember the day. He was the type of guy who would say, what's the answer? You don't know? He'd pick you up and throw you up against a wall.
How strong are they?
Or,
How strong are they? Do they work out or something?
Brother Anthony was like a tank. And this is how he would do things. If you were out of dress code, I can't do it because I couldn't lift you. You didn't like it? He would pick you up, put your face right there, start screaming at you. You would be dangling in the back there. And he would do it because, again, in those days, you got to understand the time. In the 40s and 50s, God, when I went to school, nuns had what we used to call the clappers and the rulers.
Yeah.
They used to hit you with rulers and so forth. So in those days, what we called child abuse was normal discipline. Okay? I'm not saying we want to go back there. What I'm just saying is that's how they ran the school. Now, having said that, let's talk about this. You go to the media center. I still once in a while slip, shows you my age, and call it a library, but it's a media center, and it's Steve Dean Memorial. Does anybody know who Steve Dean is or was?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a student here, but he had like a disability, but he like kept going.
Yes, Steve Dean, he's deceased, obviously, it's a memorial. He was a disabled student. And in those days, when he came here, disabilities in a school like this is not as easy as it was back then. I mean, you know, there was not as many accommodations. Didn't bother him in the least. He died, but he also befriended a guy by the name of Al Checky, who graduated the same year Steve Dean would have graduated. Now, Al Checky left here, founded Southeast Airlines in California. He's a multimillionaire. He ran for governor. He didn't win, but he ran for governor of California in the 80s. He's just very wealthy and powerful. And he's been very generous to us over the years. And when we built this, he gave us the money for the entire media center on condition we named it after his friend, Steve Dean. So you should know that this is not just a media center, it's named after a good council graduate who really, despite the odds, did well for us. He, as I said, got young, but still did well. Okay, let's go back downstairs.